What's up, guys? Cables here. Today I'm gonna do my review of the season one finale of The Legend of Korra. Overall, this season finale was quite interesting, and honestly, I kind of expected a little bit more, and I'm a little bit disappointed. But overall, I guess it was all right. It was decent, for a season finale. But it was just weird to me because from episodes 1 through 10, the series was great. For me, it was on point throughout all the episodes, and the season finale kind of disappointed me a little bit, but maybe my expectations were a little bit higher. But pretty much what happened in episode 11, the first half of the season finale, basically, Korra and the rest of Team Avatar, they're waiting for General Iroh to come in with his warships and pretty much combine forces so that they can retake Republic City because Amon has it on lock. He has all these mega tanks, he has those blimps, and he's basically cover all those equalist flags everywhere. And pretty much when General Iroh pretty much makes his entrance into Republic City, he notices there's nobody around him, and then out of nowhere there are mines within the water, and pretty much that immobilizes the ships. And then out of nowhere, you see these fighter planes come out, and they pretty much bomb the ships. And this scene, when I first saw this, the first thing I thought of was World War II and Pearl Harbor. Like, this that whole scene of like the planes coming in, it just that's the first thing I thought of, and it kind of makes sense, during this time that the more things would get more technological, with planes and everything. But Hiroshi probably had a lot of time on his hands to develop this, and it just shows that also that Hiroshi himself is a genius, for him to create all these inventions and whatnot. And General Iroh was defeated, and he put up a good fight, but Korra was able to save him. And the plan was to basically to separate for Bolin, Asami, and uh, Iroh to basically go and deal with Hiroshi, while Mako and Korra deal with Amon. And you kind of also see that Mako and Asami's relationship is done. You kind of feel bad for Asami because she didn't do anything, and it kind of does suck for her. And Mako cheated on her with Korra with that kiss. But I'm glad it ended up because Asami is a cool character. I like her. Um, and then so pretty much what happened was when Korra and Mako decided to infiltrate the Amon and confront him, they notice they see Tarlok, that he's the only one in this building that's locked up. And we learned that Tarlok reveals that Amon is actually his brother. And when I first heard this, I wasn't really surprised, but at the same time I wasn't angry. It's just I kind of was like, wow, really? It kind of seemed like this the Amon, the man, Amon, the man of mystery, would be somebody else, and for him to be, the brother of Tarlock, it was kind of like I was expecting so much more, something more detailed. Also, by the way, before I forget, we also still see Bumi, Tenzin's older brother. We know that he's actually the commander of the armed forces. He's a commander, just to let you guys know that. I thought that's pretty cool, with the families, doing different things. And so pretty much, when we learn about with Amon's past, and apparently that his name was Noatalk, that's his real name, and we learned that Yukon had changed his identity and pretty much went through facial reconstruction, and he went to the northern water tribe and met this woman, started a family, and then when he found out that his two sons were waterbenders, he kind of used them as his instruments as revenge to reclaim Republic City. And pretty much Amon was the prodigy. He was good at waterbending, and he was able to fully master bloodbending at a high level at the age of 14. And Tarlok didn't really like bloodbending, and it came to the whole thing where Amon left and pretty much attacked his father. And it kind of really put his family in a depressed state, and they never heard of Amon again. And I'm gonna call him Amon instead of Noah Talk because we know him from Amon since the beginning of the series. And this kind of seemed weird that I seemed like the writers could have put more story and more in depth with Amon instead of him just being Tarlok's brother. And then Tarlok figured it out because when he took was bending was taken away, he felt the same sensation and the fact that he uses blood bending to somehow block your bending. It's pretty weird. And so pretty much Korra's idea was to basically go to the huge rally, which takes place in episode 12, and pretty much reveal who Amon really is. And while this is happening, Asami and Bolin and Iroh are being trapped because they went through this electrical field. Pretty advanced stuff to me. And pretty much what happened was they were going to confront, Hiroshi, and through this whole episode 12, you saw the confrontation with Hiroshi and Asami, and this was really well done in my opinion. Daughter against father, going with her friends instead of with her own family, and she fought her father in the tanks, and she pretty much won. And I thought this was really good for Asami, and it also showed that she was not the weak point within the group, that she can take care of herself, that even though she's not a bender, she can fight well, and pretty much, she's could adapt to any situation. I mean, she's able to use that equalist glove with ease, use the tank with such mastery. So I really did like this whole development with Asami, and also Naga and Bowling had helped as well. And then when Mako and Korra confront Amon in front of everybody, he reveals his face with ease, and then we see a scar, which obviously it's fake. And then apparently Amon has somehow captured Tenzin's family, which I'm guessing that they got caught because of the electrical field that they probably got caught in. But it's kind of weird because it was like Bei Feng gave up her, bending and sacrificed herself, and in the end she got, Tenzin and his family still got caught. So Amon was going to take away their bending, which would have been bad because they're the only airbenders. And then we get this mini fight scene, and Amon pretty much uses blood bending, and he's vicious about it. He's just clawing up his hand and throwing them back and forth. You hear the bodies twitching. I still believe blood bending is pretty weird. And then the lieutenant, he figures it out. And honestly, he just gets pwned again by Amon. And I thought that Amon was actually going to kill him, but he actually just knocks him out and throws him out. And overall, my thoughts on the lieutenant, lieutenant to me, he's horrible. He sucks. I mean, he had this one good fight with Korra on top of the pro bending arena, but other than that, man, the guy just gets pwned all the time. I mean, he's supposed to be the lieutenant, but to me, he just sucks overall. I mean, I thought it was cool with the electric rods and everything, but overall, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a horrible fighter, but it just seems like he loses too much, to be the lieutenant. And when that happened, Mako, and also in this episode, Mako was being constricted, but he somehow hit Amon with lightning. Amon gets attacked, and then moments later, he gets back up like nothing happened. In the last Airbender, Zuko and Aang both got hit by lightning, and they both almost died. That's crazy. I don't believe how Amon was able to survive that direct lightning attack, close range too. And you can see that he gets hit by like that huge energy of lightning right near the chest. And now I'm like, how did he survive? It made no sense. The Avatar Aang got hit, he almost died, and he was in the Avatar state, which was really dangerous. And then Zuko got hit by with Azula when he tried to protect Katara. And I'm like, how does he like walk away from that? And then the next thing that really bugged me was that Korra was airbending because Mako was about to get his bending taken away. And I'm like, it didn't really make any sense because I understand that, yeah, Korra did not know how to airbend, but, I understand that, when her bending was taken away, she already knew earth, fire, and water, but she didn't know air, so that's probably why, you know, she was able to airbend because at the time she didn't know how to do it. She knew the movements and everything, but not how to airbend in general. But when she did it out of nowhere, it was like kind of like out of concern and desperation. She was like, no, and it wasn't like she was patient, she was calm, she was at peace. She wasn't because that's the few qualities that you have to have in order to airbend. But that didn't happen, and then Amon gets exposed, and people know that he's a waterbender. He just runs away, swims away actually. And then he meets up with his brother and frees him. He's like, I'm sorry, brother, you're the only family that I have. Let's get out of here. And I'm like, you took away his bending. That's kind of OD. And then they kind of escape on a boat. And I'm like, it reminded me so much of an old school like spy movie where the villain escapes on some high-speed boat or water vehicle. And then pretty much Tar does the ultimate sacrifice and pretty much attacks the engine with the Equalist glove, and pretty much the ship explodes, and you saw Amon have a tear in his eye. And you're supposed to feel bad for Amon, but I really don't, because this whole season finale kind of downgraded Amon, from being the most mysterious character, the one of the best, antagonists in this series, and then it just really just downgraded him, and I didn't really like that. I know that they're dead because the ship exploded. I don't think they would have survived. And so pretty much when Korra, she's depressed, she goes back home with everybody else, all her friends and family. She lost her bending, she's depressed, she's sad. And then out of nowhere, when she's at her lowest point, out of nowhere, with no spiritual temple, no meditation, Aang comes out of nowhere with all the other previous avatars, and bada bing, bada boom, Korra gets her bending back. She's able to go into avatar state, and she learns how to how to basically give somebody back their bending, and she does it with Bei Fong, and that's pretty much the end. You know, it's a happy ending. Overall, I didn't really. I thought this season finale could have done so much better because you know, the whole main conflict was between benders and non-benders. You know, this whole thing about benders abusing their power, and the fact that you know this was kind of ignored, it kind of sucked a little bit. You know, because that was one of the main things that I liked because Amon represented, you know, the whole how the way benders felt, non-benders felt, you know, being oppressed and whatnot. And even though the whole equalist movement was based on a lie, it was still, you know, a powerful movement. And I kind of envisioned that maybe Korra and Amon was going to talk, and she was going to make this great speech about being a bender and whatnot, and the responsibility. But that didn't happen, you know. It just she got her bendings back, so she can go into Avatar state, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, the season finale could have done a lot better, but I didn't like how Asami and her father, the confrontation, how it went about. You know, and great development for her, even though you feel bad for her because now Mako and Korra are together, and now it's like what Asami will do now because she lost her mother, her father's gonna be in prison, she lost Mako, and now it's like she only had her friends, and it kind of sucks for her. You kind of feel bad for her than any other character. But yeah, overall, this season finale could have been better, but it was decent. I would say this was a decent season finale. I don't know. This seemed like the writers been kind of lazy. But yeah, what you thought about this season finale? What you liked about it, disliked about it, and leave me your thoughts below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to talk about. And it just seemed like there was really no development at all with this, you know, at the end with some of these characters, with Mako and Korra especially. But maybe season 2 we'll see Korra go back to Republic City, heal, give people back their bending that was lost by Amon. And perhaps, you know, probably are a lot of members of the Equalists still out there, a whole bunch of chi blockers. And who knows what's going to be the next villain because kind of just left at a happy ending. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully there won't be a time skip or something, but they might do that. I'm not sure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.